Good morning, 4th graders, and welcome to your video, Unit 7, Session 2.2, Creating a Multiplication Cluster Problem. I'd like you to go ahead and get out a piece of paper and a pencil, and I'd like for you to go ahead and write out the problem, 67 times 24. Now, how would you make a cluster of problems to help you solve this problem? You're going to take a few moments to work this out and see whether you can come up with a cluster of 3 or 4 problems. Remember, cluster problems are a group of problems that are all related to a final problem, any of which that you can use to help you solve this final problem. You should be able to say how each problem in your cluster is related to 67 times 24 and how you might use it to solve the problem. So, pause the video now, go ahead and work on 67 times 24 by using some multiplication cluster problems. Welcome back, 4th graders. So, I have given you an example of how that you can use cluster problems to solve 67 times 24. Now, I first wanted to look at 67, and I wanted to times it by friendly numbers that were easy for me to figure out. Now, I could break this into 20 and 4, but 67 times 20 is just a little bit tricky for me. So I decided to make this 67 times 10. Because multiplying by 10 is so easy. It's a friendly number for me. And I can break it down by saying 67 times 1 is 67, and then we add the 0. Now remember, you're not really just adding a 0, you're really multiplying it by 10. And so I knew that 670, that if I added that against itself, if I doubled it, 670 plus 670, that would give me the answer of 67 times 20. Because 10 plus 10 is 20, so I could double this to get this answer. So 670 plus 670 gave me 1,340. And I circled that here because I knew that later on I was going to use that number. So now I have multiplied 67 by 20. But I'm not finished, because if I just leave it at 67 times 20, then I have forgotten to multiply the 67 to the 4. So again, I started thinking 67 times 4, man, that's going to require me to do a few things to get that answer. So let me make that 4 into more of a friendly number for me. So I decided to break that 4 in half and make it a 2. Because I can add 67 plus 67 and get an answer really quick. So 67 times 2 was 134. So I know that I needed to double this answer because I'd only multiplied by 2 and I need to multiply it by that 4. So I then took 134 and I doubled it. I added against itself. 134 plus 134 gave me 268. And so as you can see, I circled that number because I knew I was going to use that number later on. Because all I've done, boys and girls, is I have broken apart the 24. And when I break it apart, I have to multiply 67 times the 20 and 67 times the 4. So when we break up 24, we get 20 plus 4. And you have to multiply the 67 times the 20 and the 67 times the 4 to get your final answer. So here were the products to these two smaller problems. So then I knew I needed to add them to get my final product. So these are your subproducts. So I then added the 1,340 to the 268, and that gave me the total of 1,608. So the product to the problem, 67 times 24, is 1,608. Over the next couple of days, you're going to be solving many multiplication problems, some like this and some a little bit bigger. Think about how you choose the strategy that you use, whether it's to break the problem into smaller, Easier problems are to change one factor to a number that is easier to multiply and then adjusting the answer. What is it about the numbers in the problem that help you choose? You have to think about that. We'll come back and talk about this after you've had a chance to work. Well, that's it for this video. Bye for now.